We did research on the violence of extreme poverty and on ways that people search for peace. We were very struck, among other participants, by our participants in the Philippines who really brought a lot to the question. And we wanted at one point to invite them to an international seminar working on that question. And we had the great frustration that they were not able to receive the visas that would have been necessary in something that often frustrates us. We believe that there are people in every part of the world who have a lot of intelligence to bring to questions that are important. And in terms of what's required for an international visa, often people living in extreme poverty don't meet those requirements. And that's a very big shame. However, with two of the people in the Philippines who did this application process for the visas, we were actually encouraged by one thing, which was that for people who had not previously had identity papers, they were able to get national identity cards during this process, which led to some very positive changes in their lives. For one of them, it meant having the ID to show in order to visit a loved one who was in prison at one point. And for another, the process of getting the identity papers meant being able to be back in touch with her family, who she in fact had left very young at the age of 11 in order to do domestic work very far from her home. And it was the first time that she was able to discover that her mother was still alive, for her mother to have news from her, and for them to rebuild a relationship where in fact she's been able to now take some of her nieces and nephews to live with her for a while. So there were some very, very powerful changes thanks to being able to get national identity papers. And we do believe that that's worth investing so that every person on the face of the planet can have that right to exist legally.